The process of bail and determining it in the United States can be quite complicated and a bit frustrating. The U.S. Constitution outlines our country's system of bail, which allows prisoners who are awaiting trial the choice to either deposit money or property as a way to ensure the court that they will not fail to appear. Bail amounts are set by judges and magistrates, and they determine many factors while making a decision, such as one's criminal history, involvement in their community, and family relationships, but they do not consider a defendant's ability to make bail. This is very concerning since bail determinations are set within minutes. The inability to make bail raises much concern to the person affected since high bail amounts tend to disproportionately affect low-income communities of color.
Lower-class individuals are often represented by public defenders that have large caseloads and are too overworked to focus solely on a single client. Because of this, it is fairly common for the public defender to encourage them to take a plea deal, which can lead to many negative effects after their release from prison. Unfortunately, in our society's criminal justice system, it tends to benefit white males in comparison to black males. For example, black men tend to pay higher bail amounts compared to white men. Black men are statistically less likely to be given non-financial release. However, it is not their fault that the criminal justice system is not on their side. Rather, the structural forces of society. Being in a low-income environment hinders their access to certain resources, thus making them more susceptible to arrest and being put into more difficult situations. If bail is under $2,000, a defendant is eligible for our organization, Protection and Release for the People program, which gives individuals a chance to prevent being in pretrial detention. In order to avoid this, the defendant is encouraged to apply for the program either by themselves or with the help of a public defender. The applicant cannot apply if he or she has already been convicted of a violent felony or a misdemeanor that was intended to cause direct harm towards another. Their application, criminal history, charge, and personal life will then be reviewed by a team of unbiased service providers that work for the Protection and Release for the People program. If these unbiased service providers find this individual eligible, they will contact the court for permission to interview the defendant in order to make a final decision or recommendation to send the judge involved with his or her case. The judge is the only person that makes the final decision. However, it is influenced by the word and assessment of the service provider. If the defendant's bail is over $2,000, then the defendant goes through the same process, but with an extension. The unbiased service providers will then require them to pay a fee depending on their income.
People of color and people who obtain a lower social class in the United States of America have a disproportionately chance of not being able to pay their bail. Bail is just a simple way of saying an insurance policy in place by the government to make sure that the defendant comes back for their trial. Our organization aims to give those that identify with this minority group a chance to be able to avoid pretrial detention. Pretrial detention can have many effects on not just the defendant, but their job, loss of custody of their children, and also losing finances.
After a defendant has been to their official court date and given the decision by their judge, our service providers meet with the individual after approximately 6 weeks to see how they have adjusted since the decision, how Protection and Release for the People program has helped them, and how they have maintained with changing their ways. After the meeting, our service providers report to court and city officials to go through the results to see if this program is indeed helping the individual and the city. If the city officials see that there has been no positive change within the community and within the person, they have the right to disband our organization. Our organization has been effective and has decreased the percentage of unemployment, so much so that the courts and cities in which Protection and Release for the People program operate, that other cities have also requested that we open programs in their community as well.
Hello, now we're here with Derek, one of our former clients for Protection and Release program. Derek, can you just state how this program has impacted you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to. I got arrested on a minor traffic incident and was in jail with a $1,500 bail. There's no way I could afford it, and I couldn't afford to be in jail during that time either because I'm the sole breadwinner for our family. It would have just been devastating to us. So your program provided me with that bail, and I got to get back out and back to my job and providing for my family. And then once I was out, your program connected me with resources outside the community as well.
Most definitely. So Derek, imagine what your life would be like if you weren't able to receive help from Protection and Release.
Well, it's hard to imagine, but Without the bail aid that you were able to provide, I imagine I probably would have lost my job, which would have been terrible because I was just recently promoted. My wife is pregnant with our second child now, and if I lost that time, lost my job, I don't know if we'd be able to afford another child. It just, I think, made an enormous difference. I really appreciate it.
And closing up this interview, Derek, would you recommend this program to anyone in a similar situation as you were in at the time?
Absolutely, Jaquela, I would. It made a tremendous difference in my life, and for somebody else in the same situation as me, I would say apply. They can make a huge difference.